Howdy folks, it's time for some sports card talk. This is my video reply to Eric at 4-Leaf Cards on his beautiful card contest. So I'd like to present some beautiful cards right here. The first one I'd like to present is this 1911 T201 Mecha Double Folder card. This card is Christy Mathewson and Al Bridwell. I just really like the way this looks. I think it's very picturesque. You can see the uniform that's typical of the early 1900s. You can actually really kind of get a feel of what it's like to see Christy Mathewson on a mound. You have the outfield behind him, the trees in the distance. It's just, to me, it's just a very well drawn portrait of Christy Mathewson. And you can see, because it's a double folder card, there's Al Bridwell. And what you could do is you could just flip it, and then Al Bridwell goes on top of Christy Mathewson's body, and they share the same legs. The legs kind of wind up in the same spot. Now, for these cards, it was probably the first time you ever had statistics on the back of a card. Rather a new thing in 1911. Like I said, this was distributed by Mecca Cigarettes. These cards are not easy to find in higher grades, basically because they were intended to be folded. So, if a kid would get them, he would definitely fold them. And so you could see both halves of the player. But I really like the way it kind of just shows you what it's like. This is what you would feel like it's to be in an early 1900s ballpark. And like I said, that's Christy Mathewson there. So let's move on to my second card, which would be boxer Peter Jackson. This is a T220 champion set, also by Mecca Cigarettes. Peter Jackson was probably one of the best heavyweights of all time. He was born in the Caribbean. So you can kind of see with the palm trees and the sunset, they're trying to give you a Caribbean feel for Peter Jackson. And it just, there's a lot of detail here, and the artwork I think is just lovely on this card. It just kind of shows off really well. Like I said, they're trying to give you the Caribbean background of him. He was one of the best boxers of all time, heavyweights. He was the champion of the British Empire. Unfortunately, he was not allowed to box for the World Heavyweight Championship because of the color of his skin, so he was unfortunately cheated out of an opportunity for that. The back of the card shows some information about his life and some information about some matches that he had. So that's the Mecca Cigarettes card of Peter Jackson. Now I'm going to move into a non-sports card. This is Joan of Arc. This is a 1899 N222 Leaders card. I just think this card is just lovely for 1899. It's just the detail and the artistry is just wonderful. It's very well drawn. You see Joan in her armor, and then you see at the bottom, you see her leading soldiers in presumably the Battle of Orleans in 1429, when the French were fighting the British. The detail in this card, I think, is just very superb. I think this is a very well-kept card. I realize it's got a pinhole at the top. The back has a little bit of a pencil mark. I think this was just basically someone who was very meticulous in the way they kept their card and they organized things. So I think it's just some numbers that were code for how things were kept. The back just basically is a checklist. But the artistry on this card, I think, is just superb. And like I said, for an card from 1889, this is just a very well-kept card. Now I'm going to go back to baseball. And this is an oddball set. This is a 1947 Signal Gasoline set. This is basically drawn in a cartoon fashion. If you're a comic book lover, you've got to love these type of cards. They're rather unique. This is a minor league card. All the cards in the set were minor league players. There were 89 cards in the set, and this set was released in 1947. It was a giveaway by Signal Gasoline. It was actually predates the post-war sets of Bowman and Leaf, which came out in 48 and 49. So this is just very well done. I really like the way they kind of show a lot of little details on this, like the fact that Sheriff Gasaway, the player, was a fireman in the off season. So it's pretty neat the way they draw that, and they're showing you that he was a hunter and a fisherman, and just kind of showing that he played on different teams and was on different pennant winners, and just like I said, the whole way this card is drawn is just lovely. The details on the face. I think this is just a piece of artwork. Like I said, especially if anyone who likes comic books. This set was drawn by a former major league pitcher, actually, by the name of Al Damari. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but he drew the set. So it's just a lovely set, and the back just kind of gives you some information about the ball player. You can see that Charles Gasaway's nickname was Sheriff, and he had a dog named Lollipop, which I just think that's adorable. But anyway, I just think this is a superb card. But I'm going to go ahead and move to my final card, which would be my favorite, and this card is also a non-sports card. I just really like this card. This is a 1910 E50 Wild West gum card of Teddy Roosevelt. I really like the way the card just, Teddy Roosevelt just pops off the screen, pops off the card. You've got the red background, you've got the blue on his shoulders, the gold uniform, and it just all really goes well. I think this is an incredibly well-drawn card. The 1910 E50 Wild West gum card set was produced by Dockman & Son. Like I said, it was a gum card. Here, Teddy Roosevelt is shown in his Rough Rider uniform, and he was the 26th President of the United States. This card would have been issued right after he was president, but they're showing him in his uniform when he was a colonel in the Rough Riders in the Spanish-American War. There's 24 cards to the set, but I mean they're all very well drawn. They're all beautiful cards. Actually, I just love this one the most. Just the way it just pops. I'd like to thank Eric at 4 Leaf Cards for offering a chance to display these beautiful cards. It's really a cool contest. I'm glad that you offered us a chance to do this, Eric. And if you like the content that I had here, if you would like, you could please subscribe or comment or hit the like button. Remember to collect what you like and not what other people tell you to collect. Thank you very much. Goodbye.